Hi, we're Laura and Craig, and we recently experienced the retreat on Celebrity Cruises for the very first time. We were curious to know, would the retreat live up to our expectations, and was there enough to justify the higher price? We cruised on Celebrity Beyond for a 6-night Caribbean sailing, and because we'd booked a Sky Suite, we had access to the retreat. The retreat is an area on the ship exclusive to passengers staying in suites. This was our first experience of the retreat, and we were looking forward to trying out everything it had to offer. Our retreat experience actually started a few weeks before we stepped on board the cruise ship. We were sent an email asking us for our preferences. We were asked to choose what type of pillows we wanted in our suite, the wine we would like when we arrived, if we would need extra hangers for our clothes, and if we were celebrating a special occasion whilst we were on board. This was all alien to us, but it added to the excitement for our cruise. When we finally arrived at the cruise terminal in Fort Lauderdale, we joined a separate queue for retreat guests. And after a quick check of our passport and boarding passes, we were directed to a lounge with plenty of staff ready to greet us. Here, there was a small buffet in case you got peckish before you got on board, and space to sit down and relax before boarding the ship. Because we're from the UK, we were asked to show our Esters, and then we were ready to step on board. It's always exciting to get on a cruise ship, and we were hoping to make the most of our time on board. We had also been warned that once we tried the retreat, we would be spoiled and it would be really hard to go back to cruising in a standard cabin. Since getting back from this trip, we've already booked our next celebrity cruise, so keep watching to find out what we decided to book.
Hi guys, we're on board.
Yes, really quick. It's really nice. We didn't have to hang around and stuff. The thing that took the longest was to find our Esters on our phone, but that was it. So we're here to enjoy now.
After getting on board, we went to our muster station and then headed to our Sky Suite.
Big Greg.
Well, I've only just walked in, so I don't know yet.
It was still being prepared, but we wanted to take a look around and drop some of our hand luggage off. Our Sky Suite had a wonderfully comfy bed, a good-sized balcony, and a huge bathroom with a tub. We also loved the thoughtful touches like the binoculars, soft robes,
Which are lovely and soft.
and tray tidies. Our favourite feature had to be the mirror in the bathroom that slid back to reveal a window. Having a shower looking out at the view was pretty cool. You can watch our full tour of our Sky Suite showing you everything in detail in a separate video. We've popped the link in this video's description so you can watch it after. By this time we were getting quite hungry, so we decided to make our way to Lumine, the restaurant located in the retreat at the very front of the ship. It's kind of like a main dining room for suite guests. For lunch we decided to order the kale salad, the prawn ceviche, and a lobster roll with fries. You could also choose a dessert, but we really couldn't eat any more at this point. The sun was shining and we were coming up to sail away time, so we headed to the opposite end of the ship to the Sunset Bar. We knew that this was a great place to enjoy a cocktail and some sunshine. One bonus of booking a suite on Celebrity is having the premium drinks package, and so we knew we wouldn't need to worry about what drinks we ordered as long as they were no more than $19. As we just spent 3 nights in Miami before the cruise, it only felt right we ordered a Miami Vice. Cheers! Fort Lauderdale is a big cruise port and there were a few ships in port that day. It was finally time for Celebrity Beyond to set sail and our cruise had officially begun. After sail away, we went back to our suite to unpack as our luggage had arrived by that time, and then we decided to check out the retreat lounge before dinner. The retreat lounge has its own bar and plenty of comfy seating. There's a small buffet selection available at various times throughout the day in case you got peckish, and a fridge with water and soft drinks so you can grab a drink whenever you want. This was very different to what we were used to on a celebrity cruise, but it did remind us in some ways of our Azamara cruise we took last year. Lumine is open for dinner and there's no need to make a reservation, so once we'd enjoyed a drink in the lounge, we made our way 1 deck up to have dinner. The service on Celebrity is always excellent, and this was no exception at Lumine. I'd mentioned to the server at lunchtime that I wanted vegetables, as we hadn't eaten much at all in Miami. And so at dinner, he asked if I'd like to add a portion of steamed vegetables to my order. This was a very thoughtful touch. For our appetiser, we ordered green asparagus with pine nuts, sunflower seeds, and dukkha with hollandaise sauce. For the main course, we enjoyed the fresh fettuccine with seafood, and it was just the right portion size. And for dessert, we decided to try Daniel Boulud's signature milk chocolate pill and the blueberry mousse. We finally ended our evening in the martini bar and arrived just in time to catch the chandelier show. The staff really do put on a great bar flair show, and we watched in awe as they juggled bottles, choreographed perfectly, finishing with one of the bar staff jumping up on the bar and pouring a flight of martinis in one go with precision. This is something you should try and catch at least once on your cruise, and although you won't find the exact time in your daily programme, it usually starts around 10:30 p.m. The next morning, we enjoyed a leisurely breakfast in our cabin, brought to us by our butler. Staying in a Sky Suite means you do have access to the butler, who tends to deal with a lot of the food side of things. Our butler looked after 20 suites on Deck 9, and although this service was a novelty to us, we knew that we wouldn't be asking her to do much. You can ask them to do all number of things during the cruise, like unpack when you arrive, but that really wasn't something we felt comfortable asking someone to do. We were more than happy to do things like that ourselves. When we were in Grand Turk, we even saw one of the butlers walking to the beach to deliver towels to one of his guests, but we thought that was a bit much. The ship is literally there. Anyway, back to our room service breakfast. The room service menu is slightly extended if you stay in a suite, so we thought we'd give it a try. We're not big breakfast eaters, but we did considerably well that morning. We had poached eggs on toast with mushrooms, an omelette with hash brown, coffee, fruit juice and pancakes. While we're talking about breakfast, let's show you the other options you have in the retreat. Lumine is open for breakfast every morning. There's a choice of pastries to start before moving on to hot and cold options from the menu. We made it there on 2 mornings of our cruise and ordered smoked salmon with capers, red onion, tomatoes and egg, the savoury potato waffle with melted cheddar and applewood bacon, and a choice of hot items like bacon, eggs and mushrooms. Alternatively, in the retreat lounge, there's a continental breakfast available until 10 a.m, so you can get something from here if you want to sleep in a little longer or eat a little lighter. You of course have all the other breakfast options available throughout the ship too, like the main dining room, the Ocean View Cafe, the Spa Cafe and Cafe El Baccio. So many choices to fit in if you want to try everything. No wonder we always put on weight when we go on a cruise. There were a few sea days during our Caribbean cruise, and these were ideal to check out the retreat sundeck area. This is split across 2 decks and offers plenty of padded sun loungers with cushions and sofas to choose from. There are also clamshells and parasols that can be used if you need to get some shade. We always found somewhere, and it was definitely a refreshing change to hunting for somewhere on the main resort deck. We felt very spoilt by the crew, who came round during the day to offer us fruit kebabs and cold towels and drinks. Towels are available to pick up, and we were surprised to see sun lotion and aloe vera here, just in case we'd left ours in the cabin. On the lower sun deck, you can access the walking track, so it's very handy if you want to get your daily exercise in before relaxing. Up on deck 17, you have access to 2 hot tubs that overlook the resort deck area. These were never too busy, which is a bonus, but when the weather is hot, no one really wants to stay in it for too long. There's also a small pool with swing chairs, and this did get rather busy with people spending hours in here just chatting. It acted like a meeting spot for many in the retreat to meet and chat. The retreat sundeck also has a bar because it's important to stay hydrated throughout the day. There's a small bar menu here, but we never found a menu to look at, and actually enjoyed going to the Ocean View Cafe for lunch. We did hear another passenger say that the burger from the retreat bar was very tasty, so that's something you might want to look at if you go into the retreat and don't want to venture from your sun lounger. You do have the luxury of ordering some snacking plates in your suite if you prefer to chill out in your own private space. We did this on a couple of afternoons with a charcuterie board, a cheese plate and hummus with crudités. After a relaxing day in the retreat, it was time to get ready for chic night. On our 6-night sailing, there was one chic night, and this was an opportunity to dress a little nicer, enjoy a delicious meal in Lumine and watch a show in the Grand Theatre. We decided to go to the world-class bar before dinner, and this was a treat for us. On our previous cruise on Celebrity Ascent, we didn't go to this bar because the drinks weren't included in the classic drinks package. Because this time we had the premium drinks package, we thought it'd be worth trying. This is a hidden gem on Celebrity Beyond, tucked away on Deck 5 overlooking the Grand Plaza. All of the cocktails on the menu are expertly created in front of you with precision and a real passion for detail. It's worth mentioning that the world-class bar and the martini bar menus feature cocktails that are covered within the premium drinks package, so they're worth visiting. Dinner in Luminé was wonderful. We began with an amuse-bouche and then went on to enjoy slow-poached lobster for appetiser, fennel-crusted grilled lamb loin with carrot puree, finishing with a deconstructed carrot cake, mascarpone cheesecake bites, and a chocolate dessert we shared. We have dedicated videos showing you more of the food on Celebrity Cruises, including the specialty restaurants and Luminé, so if you want to see more, feel free to take a look at them after this video. Following all that delicious food, we rolled our way down to the Grand Theatre to see a show. The theatre is really nicely designed so that the audience wraps around part of the stage, making you feel closer to the performers. It's split across Deck 3, 4 and 5, and each level offers good views of the stage. It's worth mentioning that if you're staying in a suite, you have reserved seating in the theatre. This means you don't have to arrive quite as early before the show starts. The reserved seating is available on chic nights, but on our cruise, it was also available on other evenings in the theatre. Our final day of the cruise was also my birthday, and our butler was able to make a reservation for Raw on 5 for our lunch. This is our favourite specialty dining restaurant, and we made the most of some onboard credit we had to enjoy sushi here. When we returned to our suite after lunch, we were surprised with decorations, a special birthday message on the mirror, and a bottle of wine and some chocolate strawberries, courtesy of our room steward and butler. The evening was topped off with a birthday cake brought to us in Luminé. It was a really nice end to the cruise, and we definitely appreciated the effort that they all went to mark my birthday. So, what did we think about our first experience of the retreat, and would we book it again? We certainly packed as much as we could into our cruise, but the retreat does give you an excuse to stop and enjoy some relaxation time. The dedicated sundeck was very special, and we loved the comfy sunbeds and not having to search for sunbeds near the pool. The food in Luminé was outstanding and equalled that of a specialty dining restaurant. The staff were so friendly and helpful, and this was helped by having the same waiting staff throughout the cruise so that they could learn our preferences, including the wine we liked. The butler service is a nice addition, but it's not a deal breaker for us. We didn't feel the need to ask our butler to do lots for us, and we were quite self-sufficient. For example, when we had an issue with adding a specialty dining reservation to an existing booking, our butler was not able to sort it, and we simply visited the specialty dining desk in the buffet and solved the problem ourselves. The extra perk of the premium drinks package and Wi-Fi was an added bonus. We certainly didn't drink a huge amount, but it did give us the freedom to try what we fancied, rather than feeling like we had to stick to drinks included in the classic drinks package. The premium Wi-Fi gave us no problem during our cruise. We could make video calls, stream podcasts and videos, and use social media whilst on board. This Wi-Fi is powered by Starlink, and we can clearly see a difference compared to the basic Wi-Fi. So, are we going to return to the retreat? It will be for Craig's birthday next year, and we are happy to reveal that we will be celebrating it in the retreat. The good news for us is that we've booked a back-to-back cruise, which means we will get to enjoy everything it has to offer for 14 nights next time. Our first experience of the retreat on Celebrity Beyond was a positive one. To answer our questions at the beginning of this video, it certainly lived up to our expectations and was worth it, especially given we found this cruise during the Black Friday sale. If you have any questions about a Sky Suite and the retreat experience, let us know in the comments and we'll try our best to answer them. We've enjoyed cruises on Celebrity Edge, Beyond and Ascent, so if you're planning a cruise on an Edge class ship, we recommend watching one of these videos next.